Hello and welcome back to my channel. What I have for you today is going to be just a general update video. I'm aware, as usual, that content has been a bit lax for quite some time, so we will rectify that just now. So first of all, what we have is my kind of more recently completed kit. I think I briefly showed this in my previous video, and since then I've finished it off. The kit is Hobby Boss's F-14D in 1/48 scale, and I've done it as per their kind of carrier group bird for them, the Grim Reapers. I thought it looked quite good with that sort of splash of colour on it, although it is only black. Compared to the all grey jets, nice little splash of colour, and I quite like their unit symbol here on the tail. Overall, kit went together really well. I know that perhaps compared to the Tamiya kit of the F-14A and subsequent D release, that it maybe doesn't stand up in some of its design features and kind of level of kind of intricate detail perhaps. However, this is the kit I had. The other one's a bit out my price range really for a single kit, at least these days. So this is the one I went for. And did I get any extras for it? Nope, don't think I got any extras for it, and just built it as out of the box. Although I can't remember if I got seatbelts. I think seatbelts came in the kit, and I think if I remember rightly, it's kind of pretty much just out of the box actually. So I didn't get any extra stuff for it. So yeah, I said it went together really quite well. No fit issues, at least nothing major anyway. I think it couldn't be sorted, and if there was, it was potentially just my own fault. So you know, user issues rather than because of the kit. I'd seen a little guide online that means that instead of the wings being the wings are still movable, although they've sat still for a little while now, so they're not linked in this kit. However, in the real one they're not linked actually. I have seen pictures of them flying with asymmetric wing fold, so they're obviously not linked in the real one. However, just inside here, the mounting point for this is actually it's effectively a ring on the end of the wing that you put over a pin, and it gets sandwiched between the upper and lower fuselage halves, and obviously you have to then put that in before you sandwich the two together. However, what you can do is you can just cut a notch out of that. I'm not going to do it because it'll break now because I've got things on it, but what it allows you to do is actually just pop the wing on and off of that pin that's inside the body here. Almost akin to the way that it's a similar idea to what the Tamiya kit allows you to do, with the fact that you can slide the wings onto those kind of stubs after, so once you paint them. So that allowed me to paint the wings separately, and then put them on later on. Same with a similar idea was with the tail, the elevators. They just push in, they could just be glued in later. So it made handling it quite easy for painting and things. It might not come out so well. Maybe you'll see a bit more. Let me just see. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. So, let me get something to point with. So, what you can hopefully see is that actually I've tried some salt weathering on this kit. All over the top half. I'll be honest, I'm pleased with the final effect now. However, it didn't go so well in places, and again, this is just my own fault, and especially in places here. So for example, here on the wing you can see there's a lot of kind of salt marks here. And I think that's my fault for kind of leaving it on too long or not washing it off properly in places. It then meant I had some issues with the gloss coat going on properly. the gloss coat was kind of resisting away from areas where there was still obviously some kind of heavy salt contamination. As a result, the wash, for example, here ended up going on where the surface is still more matte than I would like, and it's left staining. However, it's only in some places, and actually overall I think it does actually give quite a nice effect. There's some places, this wingtip here is a particularly bad area, as is, let me spin this around, as is just behind these two vents here are the two kind of worst areas, and therefore I'm not too upset about it. It worked quite well. So yeah, other than that, pleased with how it came out. Used AK Extreme Metals on the exhausts, gave a nice effect. And as I said, the two wings do actually fold out. Still, I don't have space on my shelf to have it in this pose, so I have to go fold it up. But I did some staining and things on the inside of the wings there. On the top half especially, the weathering's pretty subtle. You have to kind of, the camera will probably not pick it up. Hopefully you can actually see, you can see along here the mottled effect, and actually, so I'm pretty pleased with how that came out. So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you the underside, which is kind of somewhat boring. It's just got drop tanks on it, an AIM-120, two AIM-9s, and a targeting pod. I was going to put some big JDAMs on the front two underbelly pods, but the ones that came in the kit were not that great, and I think I only had one from another kit that was more detailed, and I think in the end I couldn't really bother painting them either, actually, or I started painting them and just got a bit bored of them, so I just went with what I had. I wasn't too fussed about the ordnance. A couple of little mistakes. There's a couple of little kind of sticky on bits here on the front piezo tubes or whatever that are actually missing, because needless to say, as much as I tried to put them on towards the end of the build, they got knocked off. And you'll also notice that there is no nose piezo tube for the same reason. Again, minor things, just down to my own clumsiness. Overall, nice kit, really enjoyed the build, and it was good to get another plane finished. So I'll swap stuff around, I'll be back in a second, and I'll show you what I'm working on right now. Okay, so on the bench at the moment is a kit I've wanted to do for quite some time, but as per the F-14, before I finally got around to doing it, frankly was scared to do it, if I'm honest. Maybe not necessarily because I believe the complexity of the kit or anything was beyond me, more just that it was one that I spent quite a bit of money on. I knew that it was something that there would be no way of hiding any kind of errors on my part, and that I wouldn't want to make any errors in it, again, due to how much I'd spent on it and whatever. So in case you can't tell, it's an F4 Phantom, specifically the Edward Rockin' Rhinos limited edition kit, which I believe uses the Academy Phantom as its base kit. As with a lot of their limited edition kits, quite a number of marking options. So I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this kit, all fairly colourful, including the Test and Evaluation Squadron, which I believe is the one that adopted the Playboy Bunny as their marking, although for some reason they don't seem to include it in the kit. Or it is there, but it's blanked out, at least in the instructions. This massive red is the stencil markings. So we'll not go on about that. We'll leave that. I think I'm going to go for this one, which is a VMFA 451 Warlords from the Forrestal in 1976. Yeah, quite cool kind of looking scheme with the blue and the stars and things. The other options are got another couple of navy ones and a marine unit with red and white. So that's the kit. This is the progress so far. So it's predominantly built. Tails to go on still are the kind of main points of build. I've got to a point where I guess I probably need to start painting bits of it now. Nose is weighted, and obviously the gear bays are kind of roughly painted for now, though may need another little coat of paint. So recently we're just making a start on the weapons pylons, get the drop tanks done, weapons, kind of build up the ordnance, and maybe get the ordnance painted first. I found that's quite a good way of kind of keeping my motivation up, and get the ordnance done and out of the way, I'm more likely to... Oh, hello. So apparently the cat wants to help. Right, you're gonna have to leave. Go and sit down there. So yeah, ordnance, and get that done out of the way, and then at least it can't be kind of a stumbling block when I've got all this finished and then suddenly have 24 bombs to paint or something. So that'll probably be the next stage. Get the final few parts on that I can get on before I kind of really need to start painting it. So that's where we are at the moment. Being a limited edition kit, it's got some resin bits. So the what was resin? The ejector seats are resin, wheels are resin, tail pipes and the fans and things are photo etched in resin. They're painted with AK Extreme Metal, which will also get done on this heat shielding around here on the underside of the tailplanes when they go on as well. Fit's been pretty good actually, only some small amounts of filler. I thought the gaps on the intakes here were going to be bigger than they actually were, but kind of a line of plastic putty in there kind of sorted that out, I think, for the most part. This little section here, gap wasn't too bad, but again, maybe once I coat of paint it'll not too, again same thing, just where the intakes are quite often, this is still kind of slightly stepped, but it's quite rounded, so it might not be too bad. And that's really all the filler that's been needed again, so just around the intakes really, because the way this kit, if you haven't built this kit before, it kind of goes together a little bit like a kind of little World War II plane. So you have the bottom half of the fuselage here, you stick the top halves of the wings on, and then the fuselage is kind of an upper part with this kind of clamshelly bit goes underneath, and so there was a little bit of filler, just in fact it's just a very tiny smidge of lot just needed along these wee seams along here just to neaten them up, but that was about it. So yeah, generally really pleased so far, nice level of detail, quite quick build so far. So that's where that is. That's about all. I'll keep this short. So yeah, finished an F-14. I'll put some pictures of that up at the end of this video so you can see some of it in more detail. And this is what I'm currently working on. Once that's done, not sure. Some things might well change a bit in the coming months, and so but as and when there's anything to mention about that, then I'll mention then. But may kind of just affect how and when I can build kits, but something for another day. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm really working on at the moment. Nothing. The only other thing I really have on the go, which I should probably get round to finishing, oops, is this little guy. It's the Edward Royal Class Mark 172nd Mark 9 Spitfire. Box comes with 5 of them. I only ever built one, so, and I've always wanted to do. I know some people are a little bit less enthusiastic, but I quite like the clipped wing Spitfires. I think they look quite smart. So this is as you can see, it's painted. I think if I remember rightly, I was pretty much done with the painting, and I was maybe just at the stage of, I think I was just pretty much at the stage of ready for gloss coat and weathering, gloss coat decals and weathering. I decided I would do this one as an Israeli one because it comes in the markings. So I masked up and painted the stripes on the tail, quite pleased with those, and the white and red spinner. I thought it'd be a little bit different sitting on the shelf, just something different. Who doesn't like a 1/72 scale Spitfire? In fact, the instructions are sitting right here. So that's the schema I'm going for. So it should look quite cool when it's done. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Apologies for the delay in videos. Hopefully I'll try and get some more up a little bit more once I've got some more progress made on that Phantom. I'll get another short video put up, keep everybody appraised. I am going to try and use the Facebook page more, so if you haven't already, head over to Facebook and search for GT Scale Modelling, same as the channel name here. And I will try and put up some more regular updates with some pictures of what I'm actually working on there. So it'd be good to hear from people. I always like to get some comments. Let me know that people are out there, that you're watching. I know that the content might not be the most interesting compared to other modelling channels. It's the best I can do, and I just do it just to share my hobby with people. I don't do it for the followers, for the subscriptions or anything. It's just another platform to share what I'm working on with like-minded people. So if you're one of them, feel free to drop a like, drop a comment. It's nice to hear from people, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.